Hi guys. There's no one on here yet, but there will be. It's like just me and the empty room. Hello. Hey Zahar. Okay, we have people coming on. Okay, we're gonna wait for Mo to get on because we're actually talking to Monique Coleman. I'm gonna break down kind of how we met, why she's coming on, and just like little details. She's really, really special. So you guys are going to love her to death. She's a very, very unique human, and I can't wait to learn from her because she's been a mentor in my life, even for the last year that I've known her. You know those kinds of people when you meet and you suddenly are like, oh my God, I feel like I've known you my whole life. Like, that's her. And she's here. So Mo, just send like a little request thing and I can throw you up here. Hi, guys. I'm waiting for you, Mo, so. Did I miss it? Oh, wait. Oh, you did send it. No, wrong one. Mo, can you send another request? Because it's like, I think I missed it. Hi, guys. Oh, I see so many of the girls from the community. Okay. Let me see. Go live. Here, request now. That's what I'm learning. Okay, perfect.
Yay!
Oh, it's still sunshine for you. That's so nice.
Hi, love. It is sunshine. Where are you? Can you say?
I'm in St. Bart's still. We like extended because I don't know. It's just nice to be in paradise.
That feels really right.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good to see your face.
It's so good to see your face. I can't believe we're 3 days into this new year. It's very strange.
I know. How has the last couple of days been for you?
It's been really good. I'm very sentimental and I love, like, I actually get geek out about new beginnings and things like that. So even though I don't look at it like some huge thing, at the same time, I think any opportunity to shed things that no longer serve and to invite new things in, just symbolically, I love that. So
Yeah.
the days leading up, I was very much in like a space of deep reflection, like major letting go, and and just kind of confronting what this last year and also just years have been. And I'm so excited to like be moving forward.
It's so
I'm
interesting
excited
that you say, it's so interesting that you say that because I was thinking about that. I always am like, okay, guys, let's remember that we can start over. Literally, we can give ourselves permission to start up whenever you want. But like,
anytime.
I think it's more of like a collective, like, oh, we're all starting over together. And that's, I think, something energetically special. So I like to acknowledge it, but not put too much weight on that being the reason why it's involved.
Yeah, and it's funny too because I'm like I said, I'm very sentimental. So coming into this new year, it was so beautiful to think about all the things I wasn't caring about that I used to. Like I didn't come into this year with a goal weight, like physical, like, oh, I want to achieve this physically or I want to achieve this mentally or spiritually. I actually came in looking at what I didn't want to have and recognizing all that I already am, and that it didn't have to be radical. Like this was the first time that shift doesn't have to be something like, it's not like change your whole life. It's like actually like change one thing. Just like
pick one.
Yeah, just pick one thing or just appreciate who you are right now. And it's a continuous process. So yeah.
And I'm so excited for like you to take the girls through that little bit of a journey. I do want to touch on how we met because like I will never forget you. Like, so I met her through one of our friends and she came out of this car. She pulled up. We were in San Diego. She pulled up and she had this bright neon like crop top and she ran and like we hadn't even like said hello and she like jumped and like completely bear hugged me, and I felt like I was rebirthed after that hug. So I will never forget that. I wanted to bring up that moment because it was so special.
It really was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just funny. Like you said earlier, when I was actually here and I was like, oh my gosh. It is one of those moments where you do feel like like you've known someone your whole life. And then you have to be like, oh, wait a second. I actually don't know the details of your life. I know your soul. And
Yeah.
it's possible to meet people from that place online, in person. That is that is real, and that's the connection that we had, where it was like, oh, wait a minute, hold on, let me backtrack. Hey, nice to meet you, but like, I know you and I love you.
That's the best ever. It was so special. And then even just, I mean, do you want to talk a little bit about that live we did? Because we hadn't even met then. I thought that was a special moment.
Yeah, you know, it was the thick of the summer, and we were I mean, the Black Lives Matter movement protests were literally happening outside of my window, just on the street. And it was just this really critical moment where we recognized that there wasn't our voices inside of the conversation. And there were all of these really big feelings, and we were connected really honestly just as kind of friend tours in the industry. Like, hey, how would you kind of deal with this? Or what is your perspective? And the conversation was so profound that we took it online, because we thought, if we feel this way and are struggling to find our authentic voices inside of this, and to really talk about the nuances of a movement that is so big and impactful, but also, you know, this was very much the height of cancel culture. And so it was really important that we handled it delicately, but also authentically. And that was the beginning and the foundation of our relationship, was like, hey, girl, I got you. I got you too. Like, but in order for, you know, people to move forward, we have to come to a common ground, and we have to allow ourselves to be vulnerable. And that, I think, is why we are here, is because our very beginning of our relationship was founded on that vulnerability. It was grounded in, hey, I don't actually know exactly what to say, and I don't even know how to feel in this moment, but it's okay, because I feel the same way, and we can hold each other in this place and mirror that for other people, how to have a dynamic conversation across cultures about something that is affecting us all globally. And we both have these followings and these people that we care so much about, that we want to bring on our journey, but we also are figuring it out for ourselves in real time. And that was like, if you guys haven't seen it,
so vulnerable. You guys should check it out.
Yeah, you should definitely check it out. It was vulnerable for me too. You know, there were so many moments where I was just kind of afraid, and honestly, this really does tie into what we're going to be doing with Warriors because it's about unlocking your voice. And it's funny because it's in the moment. It's not the moments leading up to it. It's in the moment that the breakthrough actually happens. And I feel like that was a moment where we realized who we actually were. Like, hey, I am going to show up, and I'm not going to just release a blanket statement. I'm actually going to show up as a person in this instance. And I had to show up in these years of experience that I had, and also the vulnerability of not being all knowing. And we just kind of came together in that way. And that's what we're going to be doing this month, is helping girls figure out, how do you show up when you don't know? How do you show up in love and compassion and honesty and authenticity with no history? We had no history, but yet that was the beginning of our journey together, because we decided to show up authentically. And there's a way to do that. And it's what we're going to be taking, you know, these next few weeks to kind of uncover and dive into.
Yeah, I remember when Anthea texted me and she was like, I saw that live with you and Mo, and I just think she would expand the hearts and minds of these girls to the next level. And I was kind of angry, because I was like, damn, she thought of it first. Like, I didn't see that. You know?
Yeah.
And I was like asking you to do this. I was kind of nervous, because I would just love, I wanted to learn from you personally. So I had my own like heart at stake. I was like, oh, please do this because it would be so wonderful. And after our conversations about, I think just me telling you about what I would love for this community, and you literally embody every single aspect of like the purpose, the truth of it to like what we want for the future. I want to hear more about like your experience and how you fell down this road with kind of being an advocate for youth, for culture in that sense, because you have been this for a very long time. I remember you even telling me that even in your early 20s, you were always just this older soul. And I just think that's so beautiful.
Yeah, for me, it honestly started in my childhood. And there's a couple things that came to mind when you were speaking. One is a quote by Rumi that says, "What you seek is doing the seeking." And said in more like plain language, what you seek is also seeking you. And I have to say that because that's really what it is that what I was seeking as a young person was what I was going to become. And I just didn't know that. I am here because I didn't feel like I had a voice. I felt like I had so much to say, but I didn't have an outlet or a platform that cared about what I had to say. And I find that we actually get obstacles in the areas that we're supposed to thrive. So the places that we are meant to lead and exist is where we get the most trouble. And I was silenced as a young person. I know, it's wild, right? It's because you have to fight for it. You have to say, I want what is for me more than I want what is in front of me. And that is a very challenging thing to do because you can't. Because it's inside of you and no one can see it. What they can see is what they know about you, and you have this thing that's deep inside of you that you are aware of, that life presents these challenges that make you, it looks like you're fighting the people around you. It looks like you have lost yourself, but in fact, you're actually in touch with the truest part of who you are. And you're just trying to bring that forward. And it actually has nothing to do with anyone else. It has to do with you and your divine purpose and stepping and walking that every single day, and not letting even your close relationships, even the people that know you, they don't know the part of you that I feel like the divine deposited a secret. I feel like we all were deposited a little secret and something that is for us to only know. And we meet our tribe when we are in moments where someone mirrors that to us. And we go, oh, wait a minute. This is interesting. You are matching my vulnerability. You're matching my level of compassion. You're matching my level of authenticity. I am now in a totally new place. And this is the space. This is my authentic truth that I have to jump off from. And that was not something that did not come naturally. I didn't just like wake up one day like, oh my God, here I am. It actually came through a lot of loss. It came through a lot of looking up and being morbidly confused as to like what had happened, and almost thinking I'd done something wrong. Most of the time I'm like, what did I do wrong? How did I get here? But in that moment, it's usually that's a level up moment. That's usually a moment where, and I tell people all the time, it's really, really hard, but I tell people, you don't ever leave people behind. You leave them where they are. And that is it. You're not leaving people behind because you want to evolve, because you want to grow. You are simply leaving them where they are. And as a young person, I was always a little bit ahead, and I was holding myself back. Wow. I was dimming my own light. I was playing small because I felt too small to have these big feelings. And I, in a way, made almost like a silent contract. I think we do this. We make contracts with people unconsciously to say, I will never be more successful than you because I know that will hurt you. Or I'm going to hold myself to this place. And in a way, I made a contract with my inner child and said, when I get there, I'm going to fight for you because I know that you had value and I know that you mattered and I know that you knew what you were talking about, and I'm going to hold space for that. And when I look at you and when I met you, I felt like you and this community and everything that you're building is what I was holding space for. And it doesn't matter that I didn't get to have a voice. It doesn't matter that I didn't get everything I wanted in my youth, because of that, I know what it takes to do it. I know how hard it really is, and I'm willing to fight for it and show other people how to fight for it. And now I'm grateful. I'm grateful for not having a voice. I'm grateful for the ways that I was silenced, because I recognized that that was always a choice that I had. And I went into agreement with people who made me feel small, and I chose to stay small, but I'm not going to do that anymore. And I'm certainly not going to mirror that for the next generation of girls, because it is time for us to show up and be big in this world.
Everyone's clapping right now. Do you see what I mean?
It's so real.
I'm so in awe of you. Oh my God, you literally speak straight from love. I've met very few people who have gotten out of their way so much where they can just do that. And when it's so special, Mo. You're so special.
I feel the same way about you. I really do. Like, you are one of the most selfless and authentic expressions of a person I've literally ever met. And it's so beautiful because you are in a generation, like we are, God, like 15 years apart or something crazy, like, or more. Oh God. Yeah, I just turned 40 and I am proud of that. I'm not gonna withhold. Yeah, I am actually, I'm very proud of that. But it's like I look and I see so many things that I would not have been brave enough to embody. You know, this is the age of the divine feminine. This is the age of full expression. And I don't feel like I have even allowed myself to fully embody that. And I get to learn from you. I get to learn from this generation how to show up and say, no, I can be sexy and spiritual. Okay. I can change the world and also,
I don't feel
yeah, like I can, like, this isn't for you. This is for me. This is about me and my own development. And you can look, but you can't touch. Like all of the, like, these are all new ways of being that I get to learn from. And I think it's so important that we do have these generational conversations to look back and say, whew, if I was a part of this generation, I'd have to have a lot of different conversations around consent when I was in college. Because that's we didn't have this language. I didn't have these boundaries, or I look back and I think, you know, if you guys don't know, I was in High School Musical, this really tiny Disney movie that came out a few years ago. But I would have had Taylor had natural hair. I would have fought for that. I would have asked for Taylor, my character, to have natural hair. I would have fought for that. It's like these little things that were these microchip moments that were more significant than I realized. I would go back if I could. And I don't have to, because now there is a High School Musical, the series, and Dara Renee does have a huge, wonderful afro. And now there are, you know. Yeah,
so there is that.
There is that representation, but there wasn't when I was growing up. It didn't exist. And now it's
so interesting how we like, and of course you're speaking about this because this is coming up into my field as well. It's just like knowing when you're not saying your boundary or your truth, and like literally feeling it in your gut as it's happening, because you care so much about just being that, like, I'm going to be whatever anyone else needs me to be, because I just want to make sure everyone's cool. And like, I don't want to be the thing that makes things wrong. And just all of these insecurities come. I just had that happen to me. And I thanked it, because I was like, oh my God, thank God this happened now, as opposed to, you know, with some huge person that I put on such a high pedestal that I can't say no to.
Yes.
And so now to have this now and be like, no, I don't care who it is. If I don't feel respected, or if I don't feel seen, or if I don't think I'm comfortable, I will say no, not. It doesn't matter.
I literally just got chills thinking about that. Truly. It's wild because in order to truly be selfless, you actually have to put yourself first. You really do, because no one else will put you first. And what I've learned is that when I put myself first, I'm actually putting everyone first, because my truest, deepest, most authentic self is inclusive. My most authentic self is generous and kind and compassionate and loving and here for all. It's when I put myself last and I don't allow my needs to be seen, that what I'm actually doing is I'm not allowing you to be seen. Because what I'm doing is I'm withholding the part of me that's afraid of how you're going to respond to my bigness. I'm holding back because I can feel how you're going to respond to me showing up as my full self. And I start to dim my light and hold myself back. And that's what's really happening. It's that I'm afraid of my own power. It's not actually insecurity. It's in a way, it's masked confidence showing up as insecurity in order to make someone else feel better about themselves, when in fact, if you just show up and they feel however they feel, you can go ahead and move forward authentically. And we're not helping people by being nice. Niceness is over. Kindness is in. There's a kind way to deliver a messy message. There's a kind way to be like, I'm so sorry, I love you, and I cannot do this anymore. I love you, and like, we can do everything in love, but being nice, that is an archetype that has been placed on women, I think, especially specifically, that is so outdated. We're done being nice. I don't need to be nice. You don't see men, this concept of the masculine isn't about niceness. Who said I have to be nice?
Yeah.
I need to be clear. I need to be honest. I need to be kind. I need to be authentic. I need to be truthful. I need to be loving. But that is not always nice. Spirituality is not nice.
No, it's not.
It's not nice.
The base. Anytime you go.
Yes, it's like somewhere else down. You're like, oh my
people
God.
are like, oh, self-healing. I'm writing in my journal, and it's just like it's like
it's confronting. Yeah,
it's up and down. It is not linear. It's the most circular shit I've ever seen in my life. It's just like, where are we going? Oh, back there. Okay, I guess we need to go back there.
Absolutely.
I think that's a pattern I have not yet addressed. But then what's over here? So it's just like what's that game where you like play on the sides and then you just bats a ball around?
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, what is it called? Maybe someone
can
call it. I don't know. It's like not ping pong, but like your brain feels like that when you're going through healing, and you don't feel like you're getting out of it. You actually feel like you're more in it. And then suddenly 2 weeks, a month or something later, you have this like feeling of, oh my God, I chose this response because I was aware of what I've been integrating into myself. And that's when it's like the aha moment.
Yes. Because it comes up. You guys, it's like that moment, right? That the moment you decide to let go, pinball. Yes. Thank you so much. We're like, what is that? The one, like, it's in that moment that you go deeper into it. And you feel lost. You feel like the walls are coming in, but that is actually that breakthrough moment. And it feels like a breakdown a lot of times. I wanted to see this one comment. Spiritual Dr. Afi says, being nice allows you to misrepresent yourself and not stand in your own divinity.
Oof.
I just had to say that because that was so good. Right?
That's so good, girl.
To misrepresent yourself. We misrepresent ourselves. And my best friend is on here, Shauna, but we talk about that all the time. Like, this feeling that like we're doing something wrong by not being in alignment. You're not doing something wrong because it doesn't match. It doesn't fit. You don't feel good. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with you in those moments.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so much of the time I've seen with self-healing, we always think there's worse when we're already in the worst. I've noticed that with my emotions. Have you noticed?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is so bad. And for some reason in my head, I'm like, this is it. This is the end. It's only going to get worse. And then I come out of it being like, oh, but that was it. I wasn't
yes.
and thinking I was going into the shit, but that was it. And so now I can turn around and be like, oh, well, that was fairly needed because it's divine, but like interesting. And then I can analyze it. Yes. Yeah. So intense. Oh, no, you're so special. These girls, the girls are screaming in the comments.
Oh my gosh. I am so excited to meet everyone. You know, it's funny. Like I said, what we seek is doing the seeking. I have wanted this, like the journey that we're about to embark on starting tomorrow. I've wanted this since I ended High School Musical. Honestly, I feel like I've wanted so desperately to be a part of a community that was behind the wall. You know, I love these moments. I love doing lives. I love Instagram. I love social media. But I also think that there's something to be said for intimacy within large groups. that can exist. That there's an intimacy where we can say, hey, this isn't for the public. This is for myself. And this is for my own personal growth. And when I grow behind the scenes, I'm able to show up in front in a much more wholesome, in a way that's truer. And I'm thrilled because I can feel it already. I mean, I know between you and Anthea and the conversations I've had, and also, like you said, when you're confronted with growth, you tend to sometimes attract the opposite. So even in building and designing what it is I wanted to say, I really found myself riddled with some of my old feelings of insecurity and doubt. Wow. I found that those things come back up again and I was confronted with my perfectionism. I was confronted with feelings of not enoughness and intimidation, or all these things that I had to silence. And it was cool because as I was dealing with each one of them, I was anchoring more deeply in how important it is to have this class, this particular part, which is my part, which is to unlock your voice, because I was unintentionally sent back through the process of how do I get myself out of this when I feel this way? How do I, like, what do I do when I feel this crippling? It took me days, 2 days. Anthea's probably on here like, what? It took me 2 days to watch the footage because I was so embarrassed inside myself, because in order to show up authentically, I let myself be the full part of myself, the weird, the awkward, the part of myself that was teased in middle school for like being really deep and being like, I just want us to get in touch with our feelings. I've always been that way. And I know that we give other people permission to do it when we model that, but it doesn't mean it's not scary. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean like just because I'm able to do it doesn't mean I'm not morbidly terrified. I was terrified.
But then we know that's like more growing for you. And so that's like one of the things that I've seen within myself in this community is like I'm growing just as much as these girls because I'm putting myself in the position that I know I belong to, but I'm terrified to be in. You know what I mean?
Terrified. Absolutely terrified. And it's wild too, because once you show up, then there's like this expectation that you're just like confident in it. You're like, no, but I am, but I'm not, because I'm here, but like I don't want to be, but like I totally do, and please don't go, but like, well, give me a second. There's just like, I feel like tangled, where I'm like, I must, but I can't, and I will, but I don't know how, but I definitely know how. Like, it's like,
and then no one can do it better than me. Why is everyone making it?
Right. I was literally actually made for this. This is my pose. But like, was I made for it? Because nobody knows, and like I don't. It's just so funny, and I'm like, and you'll see it in the course. I'm like, and don't compare yourself to other people. Meanwhile, I'm comparing myself to everybody. I'm like, oh my God, like you're so beautiful and you're so smart and you're so talented. It's like, oh my God, that line between being intimidated and inspired is so thin. It's a veil. It's like this like invisible veil where you're like, I am so inspired that I'm terrified, or wow, like I don't need to be terrified. I don't need to look at you and be afraid of how amazing you are. I can just be inspired by it.
Ooh,
People are
and
like
that is
so
a
thin.
huge,
Yeah.
remember when we talked about this like 2 weeks ago? I was like,
Yes.
I looked at someone that got something that I wanted and I felt grateful for them. And it was this whole moment of like, I did
Yes.
it.
I did it. I did it. I survived the fire. It's funny because it's like, it's not the actual moment that's so scary. It's the moment before and the moment after. Once you arrive at that moment of conflict or breakthrough or whatever it is that you are so afraid of, it's over. It dissipates. And what you're left with is the truth. And that's all we're really afraid of. We're just afraid of the truth. We're afraid to see people not live up to who they've said they are, because we probably can hold that. It's really that we don't want to see their sadness and watch that journey. And because it's confronting to us to still say, am I willing to reach, am I willing to continue to take steps forward even when my very existence becomes a threat to the people that are closest to me.
Oh,
and I know it hurts my heart.
Yeah, and then that complex that we've lived with, especially as women, comes back up full throttle and just wants to be like, sit in your place, make sure everyone's happy, and just hope that, you know, someone comes to you as opposed to you taking control, taking power, and going out and energetically inviting it in, as opposed to just hoping. And it's like this fearful, like timid, like fragile, non-expansive energy. But I see, and I think this is what's so beautiful. When I met you, I think I flipped out, because I believe that, you know, we're all just mirroring each other, just like, woo. And when I met you and your level, I was so excited that I had manifested someone of your level of depth and soul and wisdom into my life. Because I was like, oh my God, I'm really like making it. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm making it. Because like I felt you have been one of the biggest reflections for me this year as to where I've gone. Not the accomplishments, but you as a human being. It's so beautiful. Yeah, I say that with all of my love, girl. All of my love.
I receive that. I receive that because I feel similarly in a different way, in the sense of I felt like I didn't have to run so fast or fight so hard or do so much when I saw that the work was already done. And it put me in a position to where it made me say, wow, am I living my most authentic expression? Am I being true to my own individual goals and desires? Because I don't have to fight so much for you, because you can fight for yourself. What I need to do is I need to help build a bridge for people to see you. And that is a totally different experience. Like, it's not this, I feel like this generation and this idea of youth empowerment and women's empowerment, it's no longer, we can't really empower people. We can help them to discover their own power. And that is it. We can point them to the light and say, hey, this is the way. We're no longer, someone gave me this analogy about being a lighthouse. You know, I think a lot of us burn out, those of us who are very empathic and care. Well, a lot of us burn out because we're going around trying to individually light everyone's candle. And we're like, hey, let me be a light in your life. Hey, let me be a light in your life. But in fact, we're actually taking away from ourselves, instead of, I'm going to be a light within myself, and you can come to me. And you can come to me, and you can come to me, and you can come to me. And I'm going to continue to cultivate my brightness, and I'm going to be the best version of myself, but I'm not going to leave my post to do it. I'm going to stay the course. And when I saw it, when I met you, I was like, oh, wow, you are it. Like you are it. And that's when this community has grown to the space that it has. It's really shown me that we can't stay in places that we've outgrown because we no longer are of service to that space. And it's now time for me to become someone that I don't know I can be. And I see the same in you. And it's so exciting because I feel like I know what you're stepping into, and you're like so needed. And what's really needed is this space where we don't put ourselves at the center of everything, but where we use our platforms to
Like
help other
facilitate
people.
it.
Yes,
Yeah.
to recognize this is your light and you need to shine brightly, and you're shining brightly does in no way, all it does is it just brings more goodness onto the planet. And that's ultimately what we're working towards. This is truly not about us. This is truly not about an agenda. This isn't, we're not here to be like, be more like me. This is the way. It's be more like you. Your way is the way. Show us. And we need to permeate spaces. We've been reacting for way too long, reacting to what's going out, reacting to the authority, reacting to what people say or are doing, instead of, wait a minute, let me pause and permeate the space with my goodness and my light and my thoughts and ideas and my creativity, and see who I'm really aligned with and go from there.
Wow. Mo. Someone went Mo for president, and I don't want to like, I already know, I know, like, I would, whew, gosh. Okay. This was so magical. I feel like every single time we talk, you speak straight from love, and I feel like it's in like a bottle, and I like want to catch the magic every time that we speak. And like anytime we talk, I'm just like, oh, like these conversations are what my soul is searching for, what these girls' souls are searching for. And so to be able to facilitate an online space where we could do this is like, I'm so excited, you guys. Now that you know Mo, you are going to be so excited. You guys, and everyone's freaking out online. Yeah, seriously. Thank you so much, Monique. I love you, girl, so much.
I love you so much. And to everyone that's here, I'm so excited to meet you, to go on this journey with you, and to learn from you, because I know that I will. Vulnerability is my superpower. Holding space is my jam. And I need it as well. Moving into this year, we all have been through it. I can't think of anyone who didn't go through it in some way, or was next to someone who did. So please know that I'm just as excited to meet all of you, and to get to grow this year together.
Yes. And if any of you guys want to sign up for the challenge, I saw some of the girls, they have not signed up yet, but they were asking. In Monique's bio is her link to the Dream Plan 2021 challenge, and that's actually starting tomorrow. But if you don't get a chance to sign up tomorrow, it's totally fine. It's something that's ongoing, so you can just sign up whenever, or you can sign up 2 months from now and then go back and rewatch, because we record everything, and this is going to be magic calls. So I'm just in awe of what's about to go down. So don't get FOMO. Very excited.
Don't get FOMO. I love that.
Don't get FOMO. It's a weird feeling. I don't like it. I hate FOMO.
Totally. No, totally.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Mo. I appreciate you.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I will see you tomorrow, and I can't wait.
Oh,
I love you. Enjoy paradise. You deserve it.
I will. I love you so much.
I love you too. Take care. Mwah.